So Brooks then goes on to refer to the title of her speech. If one definition of home is a destination, then I have reached it at last as a fiction writer who draws inspiration from the past and nourishes it with experience garnered as a foreign correspondent. So she basically sums up that the idea of her progression to feeling at home in writing and how her experience has informed that feeling. She shares really colloquially her purpose that you write the story hoping someone who matters will read it and give a damn. So really she does really concisely and realistically portray the purpose of a writer. She evokes feelings of emergency by referring to the years of covering catastrophe. That alliteration redirects us to the experiences she's had that have informed her career. She closes the paragraph with a contemporary image of despair, referring to you try to clear the cache, but you can't drag and drop your memories into the void, showing that we still do face a difficulty in the modern world. She talks about, through literary allusion, the idea of experience and refers to the poet William Blake. She then continues this idea of experience and reasserts via anaphora the things that she does know. She starts by saying that she believes fiction matters, and then she states, I know it has power. I know this because the jailers and despots are always so afraid of it. And she gives us examples of the ways literature has been diverted from readers. She talks about the ways in prisons, people who are held in captivity have books withheld from them. She talks about trying to visit and deliver books, and she uses the example of the suspected terrorist, David Hicks, trying to give him a copy of To Kill a Mockingbird, but it had been declined. So these stories enrage her, and we get a sense of her own experience. She sees that people fear the power of fiction and words, and that this really gives her the incentive to try harder. And this sentence reinforces her purpose. These examples reinforce her purpose and the idea that writing has power. She contrasts her early days as a journalist, where she would be packing a bulletproof vest, showing us the seriousness of her experiences that have informed her writing. She then uses an analogy and an extended metaphor of lighting a scrap of paper and dropping it into a bottomless well to indicate to us the vastness of writing, that our memories light up the past, and the deeper they fall, the less is illuminated. Living memory gives way to archives, archives to cave paintings to fossils. So showing us that they are, they are a representation of our past. She uses the cliche of once upon a time to show us the extent of the past and the depth of the idea that stories are continuous. Behind every beginning, no matter how long, there is another beginning. Every generation has its once upon a time, with some version of once upon a time. So showing us that there is much to be explored through our own experience. And then she steps into more reflection and uses aporia to express her doubt. I don't know why I am, as a novelist, so attracted to stories of the past. And then she goes on to reflect and talk about her progression into examining the past. And she talks about the connection she shares with her husband and how this has changed her viewpoint. She again connects to the idea of the title, And Now As I Make My Home in Literature, and refers again to that metaphor of the burning paper and the things it has left unilluminated, that she will then step in and explore. She uses literary allusion to Henry James to show that the consciousness formed when half the things of our world did not yet exist. So again, drawing on the past and the people who lived long ago. She closes with the idea from Henry James of consciousness, and that it isn't shaped by things, but by our emotions and experiences. And she uses the analogy that you can move the furniture about as much as you like, the emotions of the people in the room will not change. So consciousness is shaped by fear and joy, hatred and tenderness. So she focuses here on the importance of emotions. And this is what I know. They loved as I love, and that is as good a starting point as any. So, again, closing with the idea of experience leading into ideas. So, this speech really did focus in on the purpose to reflect on. Reflect on the processes of writing, to focus in on the ways that we learn about the world around us, about the relationship between fact and fiction and its power to share ideas and to give voice to the things that we haven't seen, but to share in the feelings of the people who've gone before.